The Countess immediately sent word to Scotland Yard, who investigated with their usual fervor, but aside from finding a concise ransom note, were unable to fathom the meaning of any of the available clues. As has happened more than once, as you well know, Inspector Lestrade sent for my aid, which he will gladly employ and therefore forget to acknowledge. But no matter, my dear Watson. I have been hungry for a new mystery to occupy my time. I was, of course, dismayed to be called so long after the crime had been discovered, but Lestrade assures me that the scene, and any evidence which might be present, will be left undisturbed until our arrival. So now you know as much as I about this case, save that we are presently going to meet the Countess in the company of her legal adviser and recent social companion, Kent Osgood, whose role in these proceedings has yet to be determined. Surely, Holmes, this is a simple case of kidnapping, not worthy of your extraordinary talents. Perhaps, Watson, Holmes replied. Perhaps. Holmes then fell silent and gazed out the window, his fingers pressed together in a steepled attitude, as was his custom during moments of deep thought. As I looked upon my friend, bedecked in his customary deerstalker cap, cape-backed overcoat and pipe, all of which had become, I dare say, largely due to my accounts of his adventures, his trademarks, I pondered my good fortune not only to be in the presence of greatness, but to be his personal friend and long-time companion as well. We arrived at the address in Kensington shortly afterwards, and were ushered into the house with all due haste by a maid who appeared utterly distraught. She took us directly to the sitting-room, where Inspector Lestrade, the Countess, and Mr. Osgood were waiting. At once we could see the disarray caused by the perpetrators. Furniture had been knocked askew or overturned. Drawers were opened and rummaged through, and all manner of things were strewn about the room. "Mr. Holmes," cried the Countess, "I'm at my wit's end. You are the only man in all of London that can save my little girl. Please say that you will help me." "I shall do what I can, madam. Please try to calm yourself so that you may answer some questions for me." "I will do my best," said the Countess as she grasped the hand of her companion. After some brief introductions, Holmes began his questioning. "Countess Willoughby, I am told you discovered your daughter missing when you returned from the opera last night." "Yes, Mr. Holmes, that is so. I blame myself. Had I not been out of the house last night for so frivolous a reason, perhaps my little girl would still be here with me now." She began to weep, and Mr. Osgood embraced her. "Now, we've been all through that, Virginia. You are not to blame," said Osgood in a comforting tone. "Mr. Osgood is quite right. You cannot be held accountable for actions about which you had no prior knowledge. If I may continue, is it your custom to frequent the opera, or was last evening a special event?" "If I may, Mr. Holmes," Osgood interjected, "since Virginia and I have been keeping company these last several months, we have made it a weekly ritual to visit the opera, or perhaps a concert. We generally do so on a Friday evening, but this past Friday Virginia was feeling a bit under the weather, so we postponed our weekly entertainment until last night, Tuesday." "Was anyone else aware of this change of plans?" "Not to my knowledge. It was the maid's day off. We had invited Alexandra, as we usually do, but she unfortunately declined, as she usually does." "And at exactly what time did you leave the premises?" "The opera we saw was The Magic Flute at Royal Albert Hall, which was to begin at 8 o'clock. As you are no doubt aware, Albert Hall is not far, so we left here at 7:15, I would say." "And you returned—" "They returned," piped Lestrade, obviously feeling left out, "at exactly 17 past midnight, according to my report." "Thank you, Inspector. Your assistance, as always, has been invaluable. Now, if you will permit me to inspect the premises, I shall see what clues I can unearth. If you please, Watson." As we began to scrutinize the room, Inspector Lestrade commented on the lack of available clues, save a knife thrust through a photograph of Alexandra hanging over the mantel. Holmes nodded. I followed my friend to and fro, carefully noting every item that he examined. I spotted something unusual on the floor near the entrance. "What do you make of this, Holmes?" I called out. He joined me at the door, stooped down on his knees, and pulled his glass from his pocket.